Pretty much all my life, I grew up playing soccer or I did some sort of physical activity. But as you get older, eventually that just stopped. Maybe you graduate from high school, university, and you just start working, so you never have the time, or you just can't maintain that consistency to stay fit. Unfortunately, that's what happened to me. I stopped playing soccer, I stopped doing martial arts, I gained weight, I lost a lot of muscle I had. But for some reason, this one video lit a fire in me, and this made me want to learn the muscle up. It was a video from Henrique, and he was doing muscle ups, and I thought, damn, that's really cool. I want to learn how to muscle up. And I've seen these videos before, but they never connected with me so much like they did at that moment. And from the next day on, I just started trying to learn how to muscle up. I made this really big mistake in my muscle up journey. My name is Henry, and today I want to tell you what the biggest mistake, in my opinion, about learning a muscle up is. So after I saw that video, I went to the park, and immediately at the start of my sessions, I would just start repping out muscle ups or trying to rep them out with bands or do any progression I can to get towards a muscle up. I was obsessed with the muscle up. It was the only thing I could think about. I always had this picture in my head of me learning the muscle up and doing it perfectly like these guys on YouTube, no kip, just using full-on power, raw power to get over the bar. And you know, it consumed me. That's the only thing I wanted to do. So I put everything to the side. I put more effort into learning the muscle up, but it was a mistake. It was the worst way to try to attain the muscle up. It allowed me to learn how to muscle up, but it wasn't a clean muscle up, and I should have just accepted it would take time. So the biggest mistake from my experience was becoming overly obsessed with the muscle up. Now, of course, there are mistakes you can make with technique or getting strong enough for the muscle up. However, this is more mental. A lot of people don't realize fitness, calisthenics is mental. You know, the world we're in now, people are so accustomed to receiving everything right away at the palm of their hand. You have your phone. If you want to look up information, you can just go on Google. But fitness and calisthenics, even sports, anything, it takes time. Anything worth having takes time. You need to accept that. So if you want to learn a muscle up, accept that it'll take time. Don't try to learn it right away in 30 days. If you do, there are some risks. Now, one of the major risks of being so obsessed with learning the muscle up, or even one skill and just dedicating so many days that you're not resting enough, you're not recovering enough, you're not giving your body and tendons time to adjust to the new stress, is injuries. Are injuries. And injuries can kill your progress. So if you go in right away trying to do it 4 or 5 times a week, you're gonna destroy your elbows. This skill stresses your elbows and wrists like crazy, especially in the beginning when you're using a lot of kip and momentum. It will destroy your elbows, and that's what happened to me. One day I learned the muscle up, but it was an ugly kipping muscle up with a lot of momentum. Still, I was doing it, and then one Saturday I went downstairs to work in my basement, and I started doing push-ups on parallel bars because I wanted to add some weight to them. So they were a little elevated, and when I went down, I feel in my elbow a pop and a shooting sharp pain in my elbow. For months, I couldn't extend comfortably without feeling a sharp pain. I couldn't do push-ups. I couldn't do any pushing movements. I could kind of do pull-ups, but it was very difficult. And I attribute this injury to overuse from the muscle-ups and the compromising position of the P-bars. I think it just put too much strain on a tendon in my arm, and I got some sort of tendonitis. It killed my progress. So please, don't become so obsessed that you're training it so much that you have no time to recover. That experience taught me that don't overdo it. Start small and build up to it over time. The next risk you face focusing too much on one skill is preventing yourself from rounding out your basic skills, because the muscle up requires a lot of energy, and if you do it constantly at the start of your sessions, you're gonna get tired. You're gonna be damn tired. So good luck trying to do a lot of pull-ups, because it's gonna be tough. Now, I recommend doing it bare minimum at first and then focusing on building your pulling strength. You really don't want to neglect building that base. I mean, if you learn how to do a kipping muscle up, cool. But if you can do 3 sets of 10 clean pull-ups, that's even better. Because down the line, it's gonna be much easier for you to go from a kipping muscle up to a clean muscle up if you're building that explosiveness. Because the muscle up at the end of the day has technique, but if you want to get a clean muscle up, you need enough explosiveness to not require any help from the kip. It's hard to access the muscle up when you don't have enough strength for it. So don't worry too much on technique. I'd even recommend just using the bands to train the muscle up and get that technique down, and then build the foundation with your pull-up. Now, my injury was devastating. It was so hard to extend my arm like this. Like I couldn't put my arm on the wall without shooting sharp pain. And at the time, I was a delivery driver. Driving was very difficult with my left hand. You know, looking back, this was like a wake-up call, and ever since then, I've been very careful with my training, of not overdoing it right away. And it was just a very unpleasant, terrible experience. I just thought, at times I was like, damn, like, should I just stop? Should I just give up? Should I throw in the towel? Like, this is taking a long time to get better. Like, it took me maybe 8 months to not feel the pain anymore. Luckily, I had some good help from doctors and physios. A lot of exercises. I'm telling you, like, I did so many Y, T's, W's, a lot of stretching, mobility. It's an injury I don't wish on anyone. Luckily, I could still do pull-ups, I could still work out. It was just very uncomfortable. Besides the injury being very disheartening, like I mentioned before, calisthenics, fitness is the long game. And just me not being so obsessed with the muscle up to try to get it as soon as possible, my only goal, and neglecting building the base, it made me just not enjoy the training, you know, like, because the muscle up will take time. There's gonna be days where you're like, damn, I'm not getting closer, I feel worse than before. And it's hard, trust me, I know. Like, anything you wanna learn in fitness or get better in fitness, it takes time. Like, some days you might not feel the best. That's why it's really important to enjoy the training day by day. Enjoy the exercises you do. Enjoy getting better at them. Take the little victories. Like, I know you're struggling with the muscle up, but take the little victories, celebrate them. Because if you're consistent, you recover well, and you're smart with your training, you know, like, you're gonna get these skills, you're gonna learn them. That's something I wish I had in my head more in the very few months when I started training. But eventually I had to work around my injury. So that's what I did. I changed my mindset. I started just trying to enjoy and look forward to the day that I do learn it, while also enjoy my training. That vision of me doing muscle up really drove me to keep going and not quit with this injury. This injury that was terribly painful, that was horrible feeling. I kept going because I just wanted to learn the skill down the road. But so eventually my strategy became getting better at the basics, pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. I didn't overdo it. I avoided chin-ups for a while, slowly built up over time, and it paid off. If you are in the same boat that I was in, if you feel like you're struggling, if you can relate to this, because it's tough, but you know, we're in this together. Calisthenics fitness, it's all about us. It's you versus you, and we, you know, support each other to get stronger. If you want to join this community, I'd love for you to subscribe and be a part of it. Like I mentioned, my new training plan paid off. Didn't focus too much on the muscle. I just treated it as a skill I'll learn down the road. And you know, I just tried to get better at the basics. Surprisingly, I don't even care too much. I did learn the muscle up, but now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, cool, and what next? We put so much on the skill we want to learn that eventually when you get there, it kind of becomes like whatever. That's why learning to enjoy the journey and being happy with every small step you take is gonna feel a lot better than when you actually get there. Because you'll feel good for a bit, but then you're gonna have that feeling of what next, like what else can I achieve? On top of that, don't base all your value on how good you are because you can muscle up or not. If you can do pull-ups, that's good. You know, everyone's at their own level. Like, even doing pull-ups is really good. Be happy with where you are. Enjoy and love the process at every step of the way. Don't allow yourself to only enjoy it once you learn the skill. Enjoy it every step of the way. Tough, it takes time, but you'll get it. Just be patient. I believe in you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a different perspective on the muscle up and how to get there. I think this is something that I don't see a lot of people talk about. I see a lot of people talk about the skills and the technique and exercises, but the mental side is important. Having tunnel vision on one skill, even if it's not the muscle up, can be difficult, can really hamper your training. But if you're smart about it and you build your base and you don't go overboard, you can avoid all the risks mentioned in this video. So my name is Henry. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'd love for you to subscribe, join my community, and thanks for watching.